Hey guys, Profe Pablo here, Spanish teacher turned Minecraft engineer. Today we are going to systematically explore the end. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to explore the end. This is a method I've been testing. It seems to work out really well. What you will need for this exploration is a good pickaxe, a decent sword, decent armor, and 10 stacks of blocks. I would suggest netherrack since you probably have plenty of it, and the color contrasts against the end stone. All right, I'm going to switch over to survival. We'll see if I can make it. Here we go. Okay, the first thing you want to do is definitely build yourself a little mini Ender Pearl farm after killing your dragon. If you don't have an Ender Pearl farm, I have some links for some that work really well. I suggest building those. But if not, this will also work. So I'm just gathering some blocks because I don't want to use my netherrack. I want to use that for something else. Okay, and I'm going to kind of come to a clear open area, and I'm going to build up 3 blocks and then build a roof just big enough so that I can squeeze under here and Enderman cannot. Now they're already after me. It's because I accidentally looked at one. As you can see, he cannot squeeze under here. And I could just stand here and collect Ender Pearls pretty easily. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this side so that I just have this roof over me. Again, the roof it just has 2 blocks, enough for me to fit in the bottom. When I want an Enderman to come after me, I just look at him, which means pointing my crosshair on him. That's how you look at them. If you had a looting 3-sword, that would work better, obviously. I'm just gonna assume that you don't. Okay, getting Ender Pearls that way definitely is tedious, but it does work. So as you know, you should probably build up a path to your little portal, which is what I'm doing. I'm doing this in creative just to pick up some time, but obviously you'd be doing this in survival. Okay, and while I'm in creative, I actually forgot to add some things. I would definitely bring some food with you, and you'll want to bring an ender chest. Okay, now I have all my gear. So I'm gonna throw my pearl in there. We show up in the end. And for the first time, I was hoping that there wasn't an end city. Uh-oh, I'm already in trouble here. A little trick, if you get in trouble with Enderman and you don't have time to build something, start digging. You dig down 3 blocks and come over 2. So it's kind of like this L shape and they can't get to you. Okay, now that I'm here, I gotta keep my eyes kind of to the ground, but I'm going to take some blocks and build up. Now you do want to make sure you have Ender Pearls with you. And now I built up to level 100. I could go to 120. I'm going to do that. Okay, and then, now that I'm up here, I pick a direction and go. So I'm going to head this way, and what I do is I grab my Ender Pearl. Now this is a little risky, and I'm going to throw it as far as I can. There we go. And now I'm over here, and now when I look back, I can actually see the direction that I came from, and I know that from that tower I did not see an end city, so that area is marked as done. So now I build up again. Okay, from up here I can see my other pillar, and I don't see anything else, so I take my next pearl and throw it. And I start building again. Okay, and because of all the jumping, it's definitely time to eat. That'll also help me with my health. And I can see my tower behind me, which means I'm still going this direction. Take a pearl, give it a toss. Okay, now that was a good one. See how I tossed and nothing happened? It means that it fell into the abyss. So I need to kind of toss a little better this time. Oh my gosh, that was close. Oh my gosh. Oh geez. Yeah, that was almost bad. That really is the danger of this, is sometimes you get stuck. Now, I was crouching when I threw, and that helped me stay put. So crouching when you throw is a good tip. All right, I'm building back up to Y level 120 again. And we have our first in-city right there. So if I look back behind me, I can see my towers where I was throwing stuff. And in front of me, I see my first in-city. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the last shot, I was out of ender pearls. I jumped over to creative and gave myself some. But let's pretend that you build all the way up here and you don't have ender pearls. Well, it could help to bring a bucket of water. And just kind of, since I'm crouching, I can come over here and lay a bucket down and ride the water all the way down to the bottom without fear of getting hurt. So it might be helpful to bring a couple buckets of water for safekeeping. I suggest those for fighting shulkers anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my pearl over that way. Oh, wow. That was an interesting throw. Okay, and I'm in. From here, I can go ahead and get my shulker boxes. And I can raid this city. But unfortunately, this city did not have a ship. So I want to keep going. Okay, looking back, I see my tower, so I'm still going in this direction. And now there isn't an island kind of directly in front of me, so I could kind of go off to the side if I want. I'm going to stay on this island and throw my pearl as far as I can that way. And up we go. Okay, and over there, I see my city that I just raided. And over here, I can see barely a city that way. So I'm going to throw my pearl way over there. And nothing happened. I must have overshot. Okay, kind of fell down in a hole here. All right, there's a city. I am getting hit by Endermen. I can escape them pretty easily by throwing a pearl. Not seeing a ship on this one either. And I just ran in here for safekeeping, but I did not see an in ship, so I gotta keep going. Oh dear. Okay, I really am gonna keep going until I find one with a ship. Let me go a few more times. Okay, so I am in survival mode, and I can see my towers, and I've run out of netherrack. If you run out of netherrack, you can always use endstone. It's just harder to see your towers like that. I mean, but you do have infinite amounts of endstone around here. I am looking out that way, and I can kind of see spawning just a little bit in the end city. We'll see if that one has a ship. I don't see any others around, so that's the one we're going to look at. And perfect, we have an end ship with an end city. Okay, I didn't really take the time to raid the other cities because they didn't have a ship. Under normal circumstances, I would. But let me give you some tips on how to raid these cities. First of all, with these shulkers, you can always hide behind stuff pretty easily and get them. If you get hit, just make sure you find a roof. All right, they did not give me any. Oh, there we go. Now, I did make a mistake. I should have brought some wood so that I can craft stuff, and I didn't even think about that. So make sure you add that to your list. I think I put a note at the beginning of this video that said to add it. Okay, now whenever I come to this section right here, actually don't take the time to jump on those blocks. Those are really annoying to jump on. What I do is I get right underneath them and build my way up the middle just like this. I don't mind getting hit by these guys. It does help me get to the top. Uh-oh. So if you do get hit, try and find a roof. Another trick is you can lay down some water and actually swim down to get back down to the bottom. Even if you're swimming, the effect doesn't affect you. All right, there's my ship. I'm going to get out over there. So with the ship, I usually come out to the end, crouch, and I aim on the same y-axis as that ladder, kind of a little bit above. That way I hit the ladder, and if I'm crouching, I just stop at the ladder. Then I dig straight down, and here I am where my elytra is. Okay, after I've looted the city, this is why you need the ender chest. I can either take the time to retrace my steps and get back to the main area. So that's actually not that hard to do. Here, I'm switching over to creative so that you can see. It's actually not that hard to do because it's easy to see your towers. So I had a tower there, and you just use ender pearls or follow the coordinates and make your way back. And that makes it really easy to retrace your steps. But usually at this point in the game, I'm too lazy to do that. So what I will do is give up on my ender chest, throw everything I want in there. Like, and I mean to everything. So I throw everything into my ender chest, and then I just leave that there, and I'll go jump off the edge so that I can make it back to spawn, or wherever my base is. Oh, but we got lucky. Look out there. There's one of those portals. So I could use an ender pearl and go back through the portal, but I'm too lazy right now, so I'm just going to jump into the abyss. And then when you make it back to your base, throw down an ender chest, and all your stuff is safe and sound in there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to safely explore the end. This method really works. It keeps you safe, you're marking your path so that you know where you've explored before, and it's relatively fast. Be sure and try it out in your world. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos like it, be sure and subscribe. Thanks for watching!